I'm going to show you a quick way to avoid fractions and decimals when solving equations. And you're not really avoiding fractions and decimals. You're really being quite clever in how you can tackle these. If you are not strong with fractions and decimals and they kind of freak you out, don't worry about it. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to notice that everything here is really over 1. Except for my 3. It's really over 5. And so what I can do is, I'm going to ignore those for now. And I'm going to say, all right, well, I don't like that 5. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to multiply everything by 5. And when I do that, I'm going to get 15x over 5 minus 10 is equal to 20. And the reason why we do that is because we know that 15 divided by 5 is really 3. So now I'm left with 3x minus 10 equals 20. And I want to point out something here. What was over the 5? Oh, take a look at that. That's not coincidence, by the way. And then if I were to solve from here, we know that we add the opposite. Oh, goodness me, I just made this question up and it actually works out really, really nice. The 3x just comes down, a negative 10 and a positive 10 adds to 0, 20 plus 10 is 30. Why I just wrote a 1, I don't know. And then I don't want 3x's, I want to find the value of 1x, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And when I do, I'm left with x is equal to 30 divided by 3 is 10. And that's it. By the way, if I were to put a 10 in here for x, 3/5 times 10, that goes in twice. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 minus 2 equals 4. So sure enough. Now, here is the same question, but instead of using 3/5, I used 0.6, or 6/10. And I want you to listen to what I just said. 0.6 is 6/10. So, using the same strategy, I'm going to multiply everything by my denominator, which is 10. And here you have to understand place value. This is a tenths place. All right, I'm going to do another one in a moment, but there's a tenths place. So when I do this, I get 0.6 or 6/10 x times 10. You just move the decimal over 1, it becomes 6x minus 20 equals 40. Now, if we do our math right, we should get x equals 10. So let's see what happens. I'm going to add the opposite, which is 20. My 6x comes down. Negative 20 and positive 20 goes to 0. 40 plus 20 equals 60. I want to find the value of 1x, so I'm going to divide by 6. 6x divided by 6 is 1x. 60 divided by 6 is 10. And sure enough, what? The answers are the same. But of course, we already knew that. All right, so I'm going to do another example. Let's do 5/4 x. What do I have here? So let's say plus 8 equals, oh gosh, let's do, maybe we'll do a negative 12. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's do plus 8. Do plus 8/3. All right, equals 12. Now, the problem here is I have two denominators. So I'd have to multiply by a 4, and then I'd have to multiply by a 3 in order to get rid of both denominators. But that's kind of silly. So what I can do is, what is 4 times 3? And by the way, this is a little bit advanced, so if you're not following, that's fine. You might want to ditch this altogether. I'm going to multiply it by 12. And so when I do that, I have to say, how many times does 4 go into 12? 4 goes into 12 3 times, and then 3 times 5 gives me 15x. Now I'm going to have to multiply this term by 12. Maybe I'll do it in a red pen. 3 goes into 12 4 times, and 4 times 8 is 32. It's not really red, is it? And then here, it's really over 1, like I said before. And 1 goes into 12 times. So let's do this one. We'll do this one back in green. 1 goes in 12 times. So I'm going to multiply 12 times a negative 12. That becomes negative 144. Now I'm in some trouble. The first thing I'm going to do, maybe I'll use my Galaxy pen, is I'm going to get rid of this negative 32. Well, I'm sorry, I'm going to get rid of that positive 32. So I bring down my 15x. 32 and negative 32 is 0. Negative 144 and negative 132 is negative 176. I'm now going to divide that by the coefficient of x, which is 15. And let's see, 15x divided by 15 gives me 1x. That's going to be negative, let's see, 1. I have a little 2. That's going to go in 11. And, 11/15 times. And that's your answer. That one's a little bit tricky. I'll do the decimal equivalency. Let's say I have 1.25x. Maybe I'll plus 8/3. Oh, goodness me. That's going to be a little bit hard. Well, I'll just do it like this. I'll just do plus 8 equals a negative 12. If you have one like this, now you have to see, before, if we go up here, we notice that this was, the decimal was in the tenths place. Now, my decimal goes out to the hundredths place. So, that's the hundredths place. So now I'm going to have to multiply everything by 100. And let's see what happens when I do. 100 times 1.25 becomes 125x plus 800 equals a negative 1200. I'm going to subtract by 800. And this gives me 125x equals a negative 2000. Oh, this might actually work. I'm going to divide by 125. X equals, let's see, 125 times 4 is 500. So 125 divided by, or times 16 must be 2000. So that should be a negative 16. And I'm 99.9% sure that I'm correct. But maybe I should pull up my calculator just in case. Let's see. I'm saying 125 times 16 should give me a positive 2000, and I am correct. Yay! Anyway, so that's it. That's the story there. 2 ways to avoid fractions if you don't like them. I also do another video on how to multiply by the reciprocal as opposed to just dividing, but that's for another time. That's it.